Today's guest is one half of a groundbreaking and instantly recognisable electropop group. Having left his hometown of Peterborough for the bright lights of London in 1984, within a year he'd answered an advert in the Melody Maker looking for a singer. At the time he was working selling women's shoes, but quickly gave that up in favour of creating some of the biggest and most memorable hits of the 80s and 90s with his bandmate Vince Clarke as Erasure. Still going strong, their most recent album, Dayglow, based on a true story, was released last year and was their 19th album release since their debut Wonderland in 1986. They've also released 6 live albums and 9 compilation albums, making them one of the most prolific pop groups in history. They broke through with their 4th single, Sometimes, which reached number 3 in Ireland, and since then they've had 17 Irish top 10 singles, including 2 number 1s. With huge success of their own material, their first number 1 in Ireland they achieved with an EP covering tracks by Swedish megastars Abba, with an iconic video where both members dressed up as the members of Abba. Throughout the course of their almost 40-year career, they've been nominated for and won numerous awards, including Best British Group at the 1989 Brit Awards, Most Performed Work for their hit Blue Savannah at the 1991 Ivor Novello Awards, Album of the Year for The Violet Flame at the 2015 Classic Pop Reader Awards, and the 2017 Attitude Icon Awards. Their music is featured widely. A Little Respect played a key role in an episode of Scrubs. They completed a world tour last year, but also managed to juggle solo projects. Releasing his first solo album, Electric Blue, in 2005, my guest has since released an astonishing 18 solo singles. This summer, we are so delighted to be welcoming him to headline our Saturday at Forever Young Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, the truly gorgeous Mr. Andy Bell. Hello.
Hello, hi. That was a lovely intro. My life just flashed before.
Sorry, there's so much to say. I could have gone on for longer, but but the
Blimey, it kind of puts it all into perspective, though. You don't realise how many things that we've done.
Well, fabulous and very deserving of the praise, I believe. I have to just say, my first love of Erasure started. I left school at 16 and went to work with horses, so I was mucking out stables all day in wet, horrible weather. And I tell you, I had my Walkman. The circus was in my Walkman absolutely constantly. And it kept me going through some, the music was such a pick-me-up through some tricky times, some teenage times. So
Amazing.
Thank you.
Glad to hear it.
I'd love to ask you some questions that we've been sent in from members of our audience, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So let's start at the beginning. You met Vince when you answered an ad in Melody Maker. Did it take you long to find your groove as collaborators? And did it feel quite high pressure joining what would become Erasure with Vince, who'd previously been part of 2 very successful groups?
Yeah, it was. It was a huge pressure. It was a huge pressure when I first met Vince. Because I was a big Yazoo fan anyway. He was with a singer called Alison Moyet, who's amazing, and she was a major influence on my singing voice. So because I used to rehearse along to Yazoo records, so I had the timbre of her voice in my voice. So when I first started working with Vince, people thought I was an Alison Moyet clone. And so it took me a while to expurgate Alison, and the first album we worked on was called Wonderland, and Vince had written the whole album, and I was kind of the guest singer, really, so I came along and I was very naive, ran out of breath at the end of lines. I remember lying on the floor trying to sing Ode and War, and they tried to make it as comfortable as possible. We didn't, the album, the songs weren't really played on the radio. And so Vince decided to start from scratch, basically. And we started touring and playing universities and clubs and doing these ridiculous PAs dressed up as cowboys in nightclubs and ruining people's evenings, And then we only started co-writing on the circus, as you say. Our first co-write was Sometimes, which was
fantastic.
just worked out really well. We were recording in King's Cross upstairs. Below was Rough Trade, this other independent record label. And I remember seeing Morrissey doing a photo session downstairs and going upstairs saying, "Vince, oh my God, Morrissey's down there." So it's just, I was very gullible. And, Vince was a sweetheart because he took me under his wing, really. And usually you don't get a chance to release 4 singles, let alone, so they were very patient.
Oh, brilliant. From Alison to Andy, you found your stride.
Yeah.
So the next question we've got is from Damien. The Abba-esque videos are iconic. Whose idea was it to dress up as Abba?
I can't remember I don't know where the idea came from, actually, because we did take a chance on me. We thought it would be a great idea just to kind of copy the video frame by frame, which is a bit like the remake of Psycho, the movie, But no, we just decided that. And I think it was just because we had so many campy friends around us, that always did our costumes for us, and choreography. And yeah, once we decided we were going to dress as the women, the girls from Abba, Vince insisted on being Agneta, the blonde one. So I thought, okay, that's fair enough. I'll be the ginger one, or the red hair, sorry. And which I think he made the correct choice because he looks like the spitting image of Agneta. He's got that sort of, Finnish kind of look, And it was just great fun. We did like a video EP, which took us 4 days. I think Vince took place in 2 of them. And, we got to ride motorcycles around this stately home just outside of Paris, dressed up in all gold, And, it was just really good fun. I'm glad that we did it. It was kind of like a piece of art, really.
Yeah. It's so iconic, so iconic. So following on from that, what is your favourite video making experience to date? And who comes up with the creative content for these videos?
The videos are kind of a bit give and take. We've they kind of dropped off in the latter years, but in those days it was, either I got the idea or Vince had an idea or the video director had an idea. One of the videos, I think it was Lay With Love on Me, I'm not sure, was directed by a Dutch guy, Jan de Kooning, I think his name was. I'm probably wrong, but he did this kind of like stop-start animation things, and so you kind of like have to jump up in the air, and he'd like take the shot while your legs were up in the air, so it made you look like you were kind of floating along. He had lots of videos with witches flying around on broomsticks and stuff. So I quite liked working with him. But then also the other guy, oh my God, can't think of his name. Oh, David Mallet was amazing. He directed Visage, Fade to Grey, and David Bowie, Ashes to Ashes.
Wow.
So we got him to do chorus for us, which took 2 days, but ended up with us being in the freezing cold sea in somewhere off the south coast, I think Hastings somewhere, and kind of like having to start the whole set with a hydraulic lift under the sea, and then coming up out of the sea with me and Vince apparently appearing to be dry because they reversed the film. So it was a bit strange, but I think as we get older, we just think people don't really want to see us flaunting our flower bits all over the place. Only on stage.
Only on stage.
Yeah.
Clive has actually asked us 2 questions. You perform an array of other artists' covers live, including Abba, Eurythmics, Blondie. Can we expect any amazing covers at Forever Young in the summer?
I don't think there are any covers in there because I want to get as much original material in there as I can, so probably maybe about 17 songs, I'm not sure.
Fantastic.
So, and you want to get all the hits in there that people know. So it's always quite tricky trying to balance the set,
Yeah, no, well, we all love all the original stuff, so that's what we're looking forward to. He also asked, is the rumoured new Erasure album actually underway?
There is an Erasure album. I haven't heard it. Vince has done the music so far, and I haven't heard it yet. So I've been working on some tracks with some other people as well, and Vince has got his own music coming out, some solo music. But we haven't really been together for the past couple of years. We've been kind of having a break. So, but there will be, yes.
Brilliant, brilliant. Now, Vera from Germany, a huge fan, she sent us 4 questions, so we'll ask a couple of them.
Will we fans ever get the chance to hear your beautiful voice surrounded by orchestra?
We've had kind of a few follow-up albums that were orchestral versions of our songs. One was the second half of the Circus when that was remixed, probably about 4 songs. And then we did, what was it called, hon? Was it Light at the End of the World? And I did
Tomorrow's World.
Oh, Tomorrow's World. And we did, no, it wasn't Tomorrow's World. It was, I think it was Light at the End of the World. No, was that one with, sorry, we've done so many albums. I get
World Be Gone?
World Be Gone. That was called World Be Gone. And it was really beautiful. It's just done with a string quartet from Belgium. So, but as far as doing a hits album with orchestra, we haven't done that yet.
Yet? Maybe there's hope for Vera.
Yep.
She also asked...
Other artists put their faces or bodies on the sleeves of their albums, but we don't have that with Erasure. Is there a reason for it? You can show yourselves. Why don't you do that? You're beautiful.
That's because I'm a lot more vain than Vince is. So I would have had our image on the front, but he never wants to have his face on there. So the closest we've had is a painting.
We've got a question from Sandra.
If you were starting out now, what band currently on the scene would you love to be a part of?
I don't know. It's quite hard. I love Lady Gaga. We saw her live. I'd love to be with her, but she's a solo artist, so I can't put myself in there. And the same with Sam Smith as well. I love him, and I love Adele too, but they're all solo artists, so you can't really be with them. I don't know. Maybe it would have been fun to be in One Direction, but I'm kind of like old enough to be their dad.
Well, maybe there could be some amazing duets there with some of those artists you mentioned. Dawn has asked us, of all the Erasure songs, do you have a favourite?
Yeah, my go-to song is Blue Savannah because it kind of sings itself, and it's effortless. Some of the songs are quite tricky, like A Little Respect with the high C at the end, or D, I'm not sure. But then, Blue Savannah, it's just so lovely. It just comes out. I love it, singing it.
Oh, it's my favourite too. It's a beautiful, beautiful track, and I love hearing it live. Joe has asked us, if you had to introduce a female singer into the mix in the band, who would be top of your list?
It does change every now and then, but I would have to say Annie Lennox, because she's such an amazing performer, and and I love everything that she does outside of her music, and I think it's always important to use your voice in some way, and she's amazing.
Lovely. So Patricia has asked, who was your biggest musical influence as you were growing up?
I would say my biggest musical influence was either Abba or Blondie. I have to say Blondie. I mean, they're really amazing as well. They're an amazing band. They've had incredible songs. I love their story. It was kind of rags to riches again. And Debbie is amazing. I've met her a few times now, and she's really amazing. I'm never disappointed, ever.
Is she everything you expected? Is she everything you expected her to be, and more?
She's honestly really lovely. I've been backstage a few times to see them, and they're always so welcoming. As soon as you open the door in their dressing room, they're like, "Andy, come over here."
Oh, fabulous. Absolutely lovely when you meet your icons and they are everything you want them to be. After 20 years working with Vince, was it strange to be recording on your own when you made your first solo album?
Strange not having him there, because he's a very wise man, and Yeah, but you're never on your own, you know, even when you're doing solo work. I mean, it's always strange when I don't have Vince around because he's a good leader, you know, and he knows what's always the best thing to do. So, but I think it's important to do your own thing as well because, you know, you make it fresh. You make your Erasure fresh. Yeah.
The Neon, released in 2020, was your highest charting album in 26 years. Were you surprised by how successful that was for you?
I don't know. I think we were kind of surprised. You know, you kind of it's very strange, you know, being in the music business because even though you have your fans with you and they come and see you, it doesn't necessarily translate into sales these days, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really a surprise, you know. And what time of the year it was released?
Your flamboyant style is legendary, and we can't wait to see it. Have you ever been asked to tone it down?
I was kind of in the beginning. We were kind of asked to tone it down a bit. I think after we did our first video in drag, you know, because it was kind of a bit slapstick, the drag. But yeah, we've been asked to tone it up when it was you know, when we weren't being played so much. They said, "Oh, can you put a dress on?" So you can't win, really, you know. But it's lovely to see the younger people now being as outrageous as we used to be, as I used to be all those years ago, you know.
You're a trendsetter there, absolutely. You're friends with Ireland's most misleading lady, Mr. Pussy. Is there any chance we might get a special guest appearance when you play Forever Young?
Alan, I don't know. Yeah, he's based in Dublin, so I'm not sure how far it is, but
Not far at all.
I'm sure,
Not far at all.
I'm sure I'll see him. And well, if he's around, yeah, I don't see any reason why not.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic, Andy. Thank you so much. I know you're very busy, but thank you for taking the time to join us today. Our audience are going to be delighted to have the questions answered. We can't wait till July to see you on our headline spot on the Saturday at Forever Young. So, ladies and gentlemen, a huge thank you to Mr. Andy Bell. Goodbye, Andy. We'll see you in July.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. Bye, hon. I can't wait to see you all. And thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.